Hello, welcome back to MMA Oddsbreaker. This week we have Kurt Holobaugh getting ready to fight Desmond Green on this Fighting Championships 33 card coming up March 20th in Mobile, Alabama. Putting it alongside of, it's music, art, sports, and food, the Aerofest that's being put together on. It's a pretty big event, a huge event for TFC, but a pretty big overall event overall. Have you really had time to look into what Aerofest is and like what this really means to the soldiers around the world?
No, I hadn't really done a whole bunch of research, but
Mhm.
I got all the social media, so everything that they post about it, I do
Yeah.
read, and I know it's a big thing to the military, and it's kind of exciting, um, and I know Titan wants to put on a great show because of that, so I'm pretty excited about it.
It's a big fight. You're one of four title fights on this card. It's incredible to be able to have this many, and then realizing too that on CBS Sports, there's only 2 hours to put this together. There's a potential for these things to get backed up because if every single fight goes a distance, that's 25 minutes. That's your 2 hours plus walk-ins, walkouts, plus the time in between. It's gonna be difficult. So you got to find a way to finish the fights. Like everyone's gonna be under pressure to try to finish. Your fight with Dez is a difficult one because he can slow you down. He can lean against the cage and stop things from happening and make it a very slow fight. Have you been working on a way to keep him off you and how to keep him away from you so you can find a way to attack and make it and get to a finish?
Yeah, definitely. Been working a lot of footwork, been working a lot of wrestling defense game, uh, you know, and just working on keeping my distance. I know if I stay close to him, then he's going to want to hug me and he's going to try to put me against the fence or take me down and lay on me. Uh, I don't see Dez as doing a whole bunch of damage to me,
Mm-hmm.
but I just can't allow him to make this a boring fight. I got to fight my fight like I always do,
Mm-hmm.
and, stay moving and try to pick him apart.
Has it been hard to find training partners that kind of mimic his style because he does have such a unique style of I don't even want to say it's like the old school lay and pray. Like he grinds out a takedown, grinds you out against the cage, grinds you out on the ground. He just kind of always keeping pressure, always keeping on you. Has it been hard to find guys that can mimic his style?
Not really. No, I got a lot of good guys down here that I've been working with. Some good wrestlers, some guys that grab a hold of you, and it's hard to do anything. And especially they got about 25 to 30 pounds on me. They're walking around at 190,
Yeah.
100 pounds. So just having those bigger guys on me and trying to take me down, I think that's well prepared me.
Do you walk out of practice sometimes frustrated because we all have the bad day in practice? It always happens. But do you have one of those days you're like, I can't believe I couldn't get up, or I can't believe this guy leaned on me for an hour and a half?
Uh, yeah, sometimes you always have a bad day at practice.
Yeah.
You can't go to practice every day and everything goes smooth because if to me, if that's the case, then you're not training hard enough and you're not training different stuff. So to me, there's quite a few of those days where I just didn't feel like I performed the way I should have during training and during sparring sessions.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, we all get in that space, and it's not hard to be there very quickly. Where you get a frustrating day because a lot of these guys, a lot of your training partners aren't doing 2 days. They're not working the job you're working. They don't have the same headaches that you have at home, coming home to the kids and trying to get homework done and get laundry done and keep the household together. As most of you can tell, this is for the folks at home that Kurt's outside in his car because it's too loud in his house to do the interview, so he comes into his car to do it. So it's quiet. We can see him. He can concentrate on the interview. It's tough being a dad and being a fighter and trying to put food on the table for kids and get homework done and get hair combed and teeth brushed and all that. Do you sometimes find out that you have to lean on your partner a little bit more? You have to lean on your significant other a little bit more than you normally do. Like babe, today you got to handle it. I can't do any of this today. You got to just deal with it.
Yeah, well, actually, my mom helps me out a lot. So, that's actually where I am right now. I'm at
Okay.
her house. All my kids are inside. They're cooking and stuff like that. So, they're keeping the kids and stuff for me. But hopefully one day in the future, I'm going to have me a big house, a good
Yep.
wife, and, a big room for that office that I can have, for interviews. And then, it can be
Yeah.
my own little office. So one day I'm sure that will happen.
Kurt, I don't think you're too far away from that happening, actually. You're on a 4-fight win streak right now, and a win over Des Green definitely puts you on the map. As I've talked about before in other interviews, Titan Fighting Championships is a feeder program to the UFC where it's not official, but you see the UFC picking guys up from there. There's basically 3 organizations they do it with, and Titan's one of them. Does that make you a little bit more hungry, a little bit more aggressive in practice, knowing that, hey, the UFC does watch these fights, the UFC is paying attention to what goes on here, and if I have a good showing, I could get the call up very quickly?
Oh, definitely. It's every time I go into a practice, I'm always thinking how I can get better, and I'm always thinking, I know I'm fighting Des Green for this fight, and I know he's tough, but every fight's going to get tougher, so I got to be able to perform better in every fight. So, definitely.
I like the way, Kurt, you fought your last couple of fights. I really like the way your last fight with Lloyd Woodward, with the TKO, when you fought Woodward, that TKO punches in the first. Like, it was aggressive, tactical. Right when the ref started the fight, when Dale Fry, the referee, started the fight, you immediately stepped forward, found your rhythm, saw the opening, and didn't hesitate on the opening, thinking it could be a trick. I don't want to say you didn't close your eyes. I'm saying it was almost like you closed your eyes and threw, and knew it was going to land because you were for sure that punch was going to crack him, and it cracked and put him down. I mean, it was good at the beginning of that cycle. It's been great to watch you fight, and I do know the UFC's got to be watching you right now. So you have a great fight against Des Green. It's going to put you on another map. It's going to move you up to a different rank. Does that scare you a little bit, knowing that you're about to be that guy? Does it scare you a little bit, make you a little bit more nervous? I mean, not in a bad way, but like, wow, I'm about to be the guy?
Yeah, not in a bad way, but exciting in a good way. Because either way, whether I beat Desmond Green and then I'm the Titan featherweight champion of the world, that's huge itself right there. But then again, if the UFC does to try to pull me back up to them, and give me another good fight, then I don't feel that I will be just some regular guy they're pulling from a show, back to the UFC. I'll be a world champion in another organization. So hopefully, I don't go in and start back at the bottom where I started before. Hopefully I come up and I get, a high prelim on, Fox Sports 1 or something like that is kind of what I'm hoping. And to tell you the truth, really what I'm hoping for, and I know I got Des Green first and I'm not looking past him, but this is just more motivation for me, is the UFC June 6th in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be. I want to make UFC.
That'd actually be a good pull-up. I feel bad for Lex McMahon and the Titan Fighting Championships executives because you'll be their featherweight champion and then have to vacate the belt when you get called up. That's the only flaw in this deal, is that you do have the ability to get called up very quickly, and they could lose their champ, which is unfortunate, but then they have to have another title fight with somebody else to kind of cover the hole. So it's...
Yeah, and that's true. But like I just seen, I think they just lost Vinny Magalhaes to World Series. Was the light heavyweight champion. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of a waste because you seem like, in the way that Titan's doing things, you're not going to have a champion for too long.
Yeah.
Because if you are start defending the title successfully, the UFC is going to want you because you're going to be you're one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I'm looking at it. You're not going to have a guy defend that title 2 or 3 times before they're called up, if they even defend it once.
Yeah. Yep. You're right, and that's just the way it goes. Kurt, thank you so much for coming on here with MMA Oddsbreaker. I really appreciate it. Thanks for thank your mom for me too, to allow her to watch the kids for a couple minutes while you came outside. I appreciate it. I know the struggle is real. Like I get it that it's you're one of the higher, bigger names that are not in the UFC that's in the sport right now, and it's tough keeping everything together and keeping it all balanced together. So it's great to watch you and how well you're doing fighting wise, and you're finding that rhythm and that balance now in your career. And it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens after this fight. I'm really interested to see how this fight pans out for this featherweight championship, and then I want to see what's going to happen right after, how the mix falls apart and where everybody lays.
Yes, sir, Frank. I appreciate you bringing me on again, man.
You got it. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, man.